Hello and welcome back to WRD Reacts. Today we are finally getting on to Starfleet Academy, Star Trek Starfleet Academy. I've been looking forward to this. I started trying to record this a couple days ago, but ended up having the wrong video file. The file I downloaded was a lie. It wasn't the actual episode. But we've finally got it now, so let's do it. Without further ado, because we are falling behind, there's been so many others have put out releases and discussions on episodes and stuff, and it's spoilers, and I don't want the spoilers. So let's get on to it. Let's end the spoilers for me. Okay. So, interesting. Very... is this going to be next time? No, okay, it's not a next time, but it's kind of a pretty outro, but very bright and not really seizure friendly, so we're going to cut that. Okay, so that was certainly far from what I was expecting the series to be like. A lot darker than I was expecting, and no Tilly yet. No Tilly, no Janeway. My understanding is that they'll be making appearances at some point. I've tried to avoid spoilers, tried to avoid previews and things, but you just can't help it because everybody's been discussing the series for months and months. So it's definitely been impossible to completely avoid spoilers. So it is good to see Robert Picardo. Seeing him as coming back as the Doctor is great. And so I'm looking forward to Catherine Janeway's or Kate Mulgrew's hologram coming back. That's been teased online, so I know that's going to happen. And then Tilly is supposed to be a teacher. That was set up in season 4 of Discovery, which is why I ended up going back and rewatching the last 2 seasons of Discovery. I was trying to pick up any nuances, any little details for Starfleet Academy that might be coming up. So we'll see how much of that comes into play. So far, it hasn't. Interesting. That I don't yet. I'm not yet completely hooked, completely invested. And I am. Obviously, I'm going to watch it all. Section 31 was the only thing that I just could not actually continue watching, and I'm just hoping this doesn't end up as bad as Section 31. I don't think it can. I don't think anything could be as bad as Section 31 was. But I only got an hour into Section 31 of the hour and a half movie thing, and it was just bad, and this is definitely not that bad. So but I'm also, it's also not as good as I would like it to be yet. There's certainly been some moments. Some of the fight choreography has been pretty good. Some of the comedy has been pretty good, kind of subtle, but it's there. References to old stuff, and the two main female characters, the girl that's the hologram, and the other one who became friends with the hologram girl. I think those are the only two non-teachers that we've gotten so far, right? No, there's been a couple others, but not. I don't think the others are going to be main characters as those two. But, I think they're both clever characters. They're funny. They're cute. Going to be playful and intelligent. I think there's definitely going to be some creative intelligence from them. That'll be cool to watch. And yeah, I think that's pretty good rundown on episode 1. So let's get on to episode 2 and then 3. Should be able to finish those this afternoon, and then if weather maintains, then tomorrow maybe I can start on some editing. Unlikely, but we'll see what we can do, and then we'll get back to Stranger Things, because that's what I'm also in the middle of doing reactions for. Stranger Things season 1, because I am that far behind. But apparently I've, at least so far through episode 4 of Stranger Things, I have previously already watched, but it's been a long time. I'm remembering a few things and not remembering a lot of things, but there's still a long ways to go. So, all that's good and done. Hit you on the flip side. May the chaos of your existence be beneficial. Like, comment, and subscribe. Join me on Patreon for the whole thing, for the unedited, if this is edited on YouTube. And if you're watching this on Patreon, thank you. Thank you very, very much. Most appreciated. Catch you in the next episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of WRD Reacts. First, I just want to say his name was Alex Peretti. Alex Peretti. Another person murdered by ICE. And despite reports, he was not armed. They said he was not. And even if he was, Second Amendment says we can carry weapons for some reason. Anyways, that's not what we're discussing today. We are going on with episode 2 of Star Trek Starfleet Academy. That's what we're doing today, is Starfleet Academy, as trying to maintain sanity from the shit that that the federal government through ICE and conscripting the local police are engaged in. The Nazi shit that is happening in the US right now. And it's intolerable. And I'm in California, not in Minnesota, so not doing anything yet, not protesting yet. When it comes local, I'll be there. But in the meantime, Star Trek Starfleet Academy season 1, episode 2. We'll see if this one improves from the last. If I get more interested and more enjoying it, because last one was interesting, but not as enjoyable, not as fun as I was hoping. I watch 90s Trek for the fun of it. TNG, Voyager, DS9. They're fun shows.
Let's make a fork, guys.
Ah. 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 Ow. 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 These seizures suck. And I lose the ability to speak. Where it just gets blocked. Where the signal just doesn't make it, or it goes wrong Um, come on, try. One of my problems is that trying to think can trigger just thinking too hard can trigger the seizures, and um, that's what's happened this time. Thinking about what causes a deaf person to not be able to speak um or coherently has triggered my seizure, um cutting off my ability to speak. It's this strange thing. um um and yeah, um the the thoughts made it happen. But if it still happens, um um and it hurts. Um don't think I'll get episode 3 done today. We'll see. Take a break and medicate a whole bunch more, and if I'm still stable after doing so, I'll maybe. But I don't think I'm going to have the energy. I think I'm wiped out. It's exhausting. And yeah. Thank you for sticking around through it. Um you know the drill. Catch you on the flip side. And you know that hello and welcome back to WRD Reacts. Today we are getting on to episode 3 of season 1. Assuming season 1, we don't know if there's going to be a season 2, but there probably will be a season 2 of Star Trek Starfleet Academy. Second episode was much more enjoyable, really interesting, some good stuff, and so I am looking forward to episode 3. I think the lighting's a little too dramatic. They could simplify the lighting a bit, flatten it. Oh, really? That's just how it ends? Okay. Alrighty then. Man, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. And oh, the competition, the pranks, the rivalries, and encouragement, and second guessing himself, and finding out that he was wrong, that the arrogance of trying to be the best and the best, even at the expense of somebody else. It's not the way to go. Trying to be the best at somebody else's expense ends up making you kind of the worst. And you get people turn against you when you do that, when you put others down in order to build yourselves up. Yeah, that's a huge whole thing. There. But that was definitely an awesomely fun episode. And it's definitely a lot simpler than Trek has been, than the Trek that I love, the 90s Trek, original series through Voyager and Enterprise, and then Strange New Worlds eventually. Because Strange New Worlds has mostly done it right. They've stuck to character development, like, well, no, not as much as 90s Trek did, but more so than Discovery and the J.J. Abrams movies. Yeah. But I mean, what's really great about Trek is the characters. And this is starting to get into some of the character stuff that's not just the drama, but it's still more action based than character based, I think. I mean, it's the character stuff, character focused stuff is the drama of those characters. And I want more the lives of those characters. And maybe this series being at the Academy, being college based, doesn't lend so well to individual character development and character interactions, like TNG did and Voyager, but more to the action characters and the characters being in the action, like Enterprise did. Enterprise was kind of that border between characters and action, and I prefer the characters. I mean, I guess you can say DS9 was that border really, because DS9 had the balance. DS9 was very, very character driven. You had all the details and history and soul of each character was portrayed. And then there was also the action and how the characters dealt with that action, especially in 6th and 7th season. But this is so far the action driven, how the characters react to the action, not so much of what kind of action happens because of the characters. And I guess you could say some of the action is because of the character history, but they've set up that character history in want of the action. The character who has his mom taken away from him, they're trying to set up that action. And so they've created the character around the action rather than figuring out the character and seeing what action takes place because of the character. That's what TNG and Voyager did, with the exception of 7 of 9. Which I know to speak against 7 of 9 is that's Star Trek suicide, kind of. But no, I love 7 of 9. Love Jerry Taylor, whichever Jerry, Jerry or Jerry. Jerry Ryan is 7 of 9. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. somebody at least pretended to be her on Facebook and offered me $750,000 if I joined her $500 fan club, and I couldn't join the $500 fan club, so I got kind of rude and accused her of being a bot, which I don't know if it was or wasn't, but yeah. She couldn't answer who was the youngest Codescot player. She said she said Tuvok rather than Naomi, and Tuvok is the oldest Codescot player, the oldest character in Voyager, not the youngest. But and so that made me believe it wasn't actually Jerry Ryan. No. But anyways, Starfleet Academy episode 3 was pretty darn good, pretty darn entertaining. I feel happy watching that episode. There's nothing bad about it, really, that stood out above the good. There was enough good in this episode that I forgot whatever bad there might have been. Maybe I probably said some stuff during the reaction, but overall, wow, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. So, catch you on the flip side for episode 4, and join the Patreon for everything else. If you're not joining on the Patreon, if this is on YouTube, if you are on Patreon and watching this, absolutely thank you hugely for contributing to my life, my existence. I am not able to do stuff without contributions, and I don't really have contributions at the moment as of recording, so hopefully that changes by the time you're watching this, and if you are watching this, thank you. Okay, like, comment, and subscribe. You know the drill. Catch you on the flip side. May the chaos of your existence be beneficial. Hello and welcome back to WRD Reacts. Today we are getting back onto Starfleet Academy. We are on to episode 5 now. Without wasting any time, let's just get straight into it because we are behind. So that's a good love letter to Cisco, to Avery Brooks for that. Thank you, Avery. Yeah. Man. Okay. Ugh. Hey, wait. We got DS9. He didn't pass away, did he? Avery Brooks didn't die, right? I don't think so. Not that I would assume if that had have happened, it would have been huge all over the Trek groups. Yeah, definitely not. But okay. just to be sure. But yeah, that was, it ended well for the love letter to Avery. Oh my gosh, sorry I didn't catch that one. A good ending. I'm glad it ended okay and came around. Ended up with a pretty good couple scenes there at the end with Sirach and then this Dax, I guess, is okay. I don't know if I like that Dax has lived 1,000 years. Moves stuff out of the sunlight so they don't overheat or whatever. But and having
Cisco just there at the end for that new dialogue about the importance of love. 2 days away from Valentine's Day as I'm recording this. And I'll likely be single. Maybe I'll try to go find some place to go hang out, see if there's somebody else who's single I might meet along the way. Who knows? Go out and celebrate being single and maybe find somebody. That would be nice. But anyways, the most of this episode was the absolute worst episode of Trek I've ever watched. I mean, Code of Honor was at least interesting. I mean, it was racist AF, but it was at least an interesting story. They were interesting characters. There was reason to still enjoy that horribly stereotyped episode. And this, there was just nothing for the most part of it until the end. My gosh. And I have another episode of Starfleet Academy that I have to watch today. Episode 6. Yeah. This was 5, and then we got to go watch 6, and I yikes. Just yeah, but the honors to Avery Brooks there were great. Acknowledging that Cisco was the best dad in television was great. That I'm glad they did that. I'm glad that's how this episode came together. It's a shame we had to go through all that crap in order to get to honoring Cisco. They definitely could have come up with better lead-ins to figuring out how to honor Cisco and have that kind of to have Sirach as the hologram at the end in the book and Dax. There were better ways we could have led up to it. And what was the B plot of the trying to set up this special environment for the certain ambassador's security, and then they go through this dinner where they're sort of role playing a meeting, a diplomatic meeting, how to best engage in diplomacy with this race, but it wasn't really clear, and it was a lot of weird a doctor with the megaphone thing, and yeah, I'll applaud Tig for sitting through that. That was absolutely ridiculous. And Stephen Colbert as the computer making the Morningwood joke and laughing hysterically from it. It's a real shame that a great ending was ruined by a horrible, horrible episode. Spectacular end. Horrible for 90% of it. So let's go on to episode 6 and hope that it's better through the whole thing, because it can't be much worse. Still, even though we didn't like this episode, be sure to like this video if this is on YouTube, and leave a comment on YouTube and on Patreon. If you're watching this on Patreon, if somebody ever signs up for my Patreon to watch my reaction videos, thank you. I appreciate it. Subscribe on YouTube, subscribe to Patreon. Thank you. Catch you on the flip side. May the chaos of your existence be beneficial. Hello and welcome back to WRD Reacts. Today we are catching up on Starfleet Academy. And episode 5 was horrible for the most part, except for the end. We're hoping that episode 6 is better, because it really can't be any worse than that was. So let's get on to it. Let's hope that it's better. Oof, oof, oof. Oh, great. Strobing effects. We even get a warning for strobes. Yay! That's going to be fun for me. Because, yes, if you're new here, I do have a non-epileptic seizure disorder, but means I'm more sensitive to flashing lights and things that frequencies of lights that don't trigger epilepsy will trigger me. So, yeah, this is going to be a fun episode.
You're the best teacher I ever had.
Ouch. Wouch. Ooh. Wow. Wow. Interesting noises. Wow, that was so much better than the previous episode. Yikes. Wow. That just made it so dark. Wow. Wow, that was cool. That was so good. That was really good. And Paul Giamatti there. Wow, that performance deserves an award. Absolutely. That was amazing. He was so dark and twisted and vicious, and it was spectacular. Oh, the aliens stuff was kind of weird. I think, I mean, if maybe I missed it, if the aliens had have been Giamatti's crew, I don't know, the character's not Giamatti, whatever was, whatever, you know, if it had been his crew with some sort of distortion field, if that's the case, then that takes it another level, and that's really cool. If it is just a random aliens that just happened to be there or were hired, maybe manipulated into going or whatever, then I mean, I guess if they were hired for it, it kind of makes it part of his crew, mercenaries to go do this job. But if it was just coincidence, then I'm blah. But the ship, the beat up ship in the graveyard, having to try to repair it, that was cool. Having another entity or having conflict on that ship that they're in the middle of repairing. Repeated story, but they did it well enough. I think it was done well enough. It could have been more character driven and less dark, less fear based, but I don't know if I would have enjoyed it quite as much because they're really struggling with the character stuff, which is really unfortunate because that's what makes Star Trek so good in general as a whole are the characters. And I'm liking the characters. I want there to be character development that is not so easy as we have had. In the character development, the character specific episodes we've gotten have been pretty darn bad. But historically that's what has been good. I mean, I guess minus the Dax episodes of DS9, I really did not care for most of those. They weren't as good as the other character focused stories, like Kira's character stories. I mean, Kira's was amazing. Dax's, unfortunately, were not. At least in my opinion, from watching from original airing. Halfway through TNG, I started watching. That was an intense, great, dark episode with some good humor, some bad moments. The comic book that was kind of lame. I didn't really care for that. Maybe because I never got into comics. I wasn't allowed comic books really. Because it was just a waste of money and stuff and fantasy and yeah. We don't need to go into all that stuff. This isn't a therapy session, but I did talk a little bit in the last episode and this one. So there you go. But yeah, this is a much better episode. And Paul Giamatti just hit it out of the park with that. That was just glee. I was an absolute, just loved it. So good. And now we're to the end of the day, and I think some people are starting to walk around. So, end this off. Catch you on the flip side. Like, comment, and subscribe. May the chaos of your existence be beneficial. Hello and welcome back to WRD Reacts. Today we are getting on to episode 7 of Starfleet Academy. And we're just going to jump right in on it with no delays. But, I mean, great lines, great... the dialogue was well written. But was just lame, dull, boring, mostly. Little bit of a few moments of interest, but not much. And even the moments of interest were really slow and overly emotional. And yeah, my eyes are wet. I cried a little bit from it. But that was just, I mean, it's just not what I want from Star Trek. Yeah. Oh, it was boring. It was. Oh. Yeah, it was well written. It was a good drama, a good emotional drama. Well written, well acted. Just not the story that I want in this series or in Star Trek. Those beats could have been handled very differently and much more excitingly. The music is just really brings it down. It's good music. It fit, but it was just it was a depressing episode. Sad, kind of. There were heartwarming moments for sure. But gosh, the producers, directors, writers need to go rewatch TNG, DS9, and Voyager and give us that. That was good Trek. And some of the original series, TOS stuff too, had moments of greatness, of good character development, good monsters and plots, and things going on, and the camera work, the way the camera was done, is so much better than what Discovery and Sense has done, and this is even worse than Discovery. As I mean, cinematically, yeah, it's epic. Nice big wide lens. I'm guessing it's an amorphic lens. Am I saying that right? It's been a while since I've looked at it. I can't really afford them and don't really have a need for them. So anamorphic might be anamorphic. But anyways, where it's the lens is bent so it stretches, so it picks up more wide than vertically. I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing for the show. And it's great for the scenes. The sets are awesome, but let's bring it in and liven it up. Let's liven up the music. Put in the engine drone. that TNG and Voyager have, and I think DS9's got to have the engine drone too, and they've got all kinds of other sounds. So the power hum of all the computers and fans and cooling systems and whatever else has to take place within a starship. But I have more Night of the Seven Kingdoms to do, so that should be much more exciting. Those are unfortunately are short episodes, but they are exciting. And I'm behind on that because of weather the last couple days, and then my own health issues, and trying to catch up on other things, and catching up on many things. Lots of things working on. So I guess we'll finish this off. You know the drill: like, comment, and subscribe, of course. Check out all the sort of Redbubble, Throne, Venmo, and PayPal, Patreon, if you're watching this already. I don't really do Blue Sky or Instagram much anymore, but yeah. Redbubble, you can buy my photos. All the photos you've seen running down there, you can buy those in prints and various things. And yeah, it's a good, best way to support business. That's my business is photography. So anyways, yeah, catch you on the flip side. May the chaos of your existence be beneficial. Hello and welcome back to WRD Reacts. Today we are continuing on to episode 8 of Starfleet Lower Decks. No, not Lower Decks, unfortunately. I wish we were watching Lower Decks, because Lower Decks is an amazing show. Starfleet Academy is not so much being an amazing show. It's been rather disappointing. But that's what we're continuing on with it anyways, because I'm still a Trekkie. Used to be a Trekker. I used to have a uniform. Stupidly sold it, and I stupidly didn't wear it to the one convention that convention. The photo that you just saw of that was a photo I took at the convention that I did not wear my Starfleet captain's dress, white dress uniform from Deep Space Nine and Insurrection, Insurrection was when it was introduced there. I'm holding my microphone. I don't know if it'll make a difference, but when I let go, there's a static noise at least in my headphones. Hopefully I got the noise reduction working so it's not doing that, but it's also the microphone's not set to the monitor. I don't have that monitored right now, so I don't know why touching the microphone causes the static sound that I'm hearing to disappear. It's really weird. You can do it just like that instead of both sides. Yeah, that'll do. So I have to hold my microphone so that I don't hear static. Hopefully you don't hear my static. But anyways, I got coffee because it's 9:10 in the morning. So yeah, let's get on to it. He didn't didn't message her enough. Tilly! What?
Tilly,
yeah!
in the Beta Quadrant with the third years. However, per the Chancellor, this class has been mandated for you, so you get me early.
Yay! It's about in time. It's a lot later than I was expecting to be getting Tilly. What? Yeah. Ouch. Ugh. Well, yeah, I usually haven't liked the emotional episodes, but that one I thought was actually really well done. I would still definitely prefer to have a sci-fi series rather than a drama series set in sci-fi. It's but this one was well done. They hit the beats right and got me involved. Maybe it's because they gave Sam basically seizures, and I'd have to deal with my seizures, and so I had a lot more empathy for this episode. And with oh gosh, no, I forgot what her name is again. How not going to pronounce it right. The Betazoid girl. She's I kind of understand a lot of that emotion too, and the lines at the end of "Go live each moment," and really, I medically can't. It's so difficult for me to get out and do anything. Just walking around the inside of my RV is sometimes more than I can handle. Just walking from the bed to the bench, or from the bench to the bathroom, or whatever. Standing trying to get dishes done. Let alone going outside and walking along the beach or through the forest anymore. I used to be able to do long walks in the woods, but it's very, very rare now that I'm able to do much of anything. And so it definitely hits a little close to home, this episode, emotionally. And so maybe that's why I thought it better than other people would have thought this episode. Because again, it's forced drama, forced emotions. They're just the story is the emotional story, not not a sci-fi story of characters existing in sci-fi or characters dealing with emotions. And which is not bad. There's been some great other episodes where the characters are dealing with the emotional drama of the situation, but that's not the primary focus of the series on other Trek. I mean, yes, there's certainly drawing the emotions of season 4 of TNG, all the family stuff is pretty darn good. But they didn't overplay the emotions as the sole thing, and didn't have to have the narration. That's something I'm not really liking, is all the narration of dealing. I mean, the narration is expressing the emotions, is how discussing the emotions of how to deal with the emotions, or how the characters are dealing with the emotions, rather than a captain's log or whatever, bridge officer's log, cadet's log, whatever you want to use it as. Just make it, and I prefer the report versus the emotional, the therapy. that's what this series is therapy. That this episode really hit that point home. It's, but it's not really necessary. It's not the what makes Star Trek good. I guess that's the problem with getting writers that haven't grown up in Trek and in depth of Trek and aren't focused on what Trek is and has been. They just want to create stories within the Star Trek universe, with Star Trek tech and labels and terminology, while doing something completely different than Star Trek. And it's another, just some random drama show wrapped in the title of Star Trek. And it's meh. But I do like the characters. I do like some of the episodes have had good moments and good writing for what they are, but it's just not. It's not the the sci-fi plot of the day, which would be much more entertaining, much more enjoyable, much more fun. I was excited for Tilly because Tilly brings some fun to the series, but then she's playing the therapist, and her entire purpose here was to be the therapist, and it's just it's not what makes Star Trek great. It's not what makes it the best that it can be, and the best series ever. That's why Lower Decks is the best series ever. It's sci-fi fun, and it's the sci-fi plot of the day, and humorous, enjoyable, and there was drama. There was some drama in Lower Decks, and it was done well. It wasn't pushed. They weren't forcing emotions on the viewers. Like, this is straight up forcing emotions, and that aren't entirely necessary. Yeah. I'm repeating myself now. Yeah. But it did get me. I was definitely pulled into this one. It got me in. It made me feel for the characters, feel what they're going through, and to appreciate the moments. The moments when Tilly shows up on screen, and the moment says, it's not Talen, it's darn it. Okay, let's IMDb this so I can try to get this right. Let's see, it's Starfleet Academy, cast. What is it? Tarima, yeah, Tarima. Only 4 episodes. Oh, so does that mean, is that going to be the last one we see her in? Because Colbert is listed as doing 10 episodes. And Sam is in 7. Genesis is in 7. Doctor's in 6, but Tarima is only in 4. I guess because they did skip a couple episodes. The last couple episodes didn't have. Did they? I guess not. They must not have. I'm not going to look to see which episodes she's in. Tig's only in 4. Ocam was that other guy. Yeah. No. Tarima. She came back in. It was exciting, and then she played it really well. She's a really great actress. I think the way she played the emotions, the way she the depression, and then the drunkenness, and I thought was very well done, very well acted, but I just want something more exciting than a drama show, an emotional drama. I don't want to be crying every episode or pushed into crying. I don't want the writers to want me to cry every episode. So hopefully we'll have some more excitement. Like the prank episode. What was that? Episode 2 or 3. They did the prank war. That was fun and exciting. And this was an emotional wrench. And this one was well done. Compared to the last couple emotional episodes, this one was much, much better. So there, we'll leave it at that. Let me know what you thought. And hit the like button, hit the comments, subscribe if you're not, when this is on YouTube. Maybe I'll do a super cut of just the reactions, the post credit reactions, and my discussions afterwards. That might be easier. We'll see. But on Patreon, episode 1 of each season is freely available. The rest are available just $2 a month. And Patreon support on my website, video.williamsrdan.com, is the best way to get it. And yeah. Because from my website, you can click on the videos, see what's there, and then sign up to unlock the locked videos. But you'll see everything that's there on my website. And episode 1 of each season is available for free as a teaser to try to get you in the door. So yeah. I guess that's that. I already said that part. Catch you on the flip side. May the chaos of your existence be beneficial. Hello and welcome back to WRD Reacts. Today we are finally getting back onto Starfleet Academy episode 8 or episode 9. We fell a little bit behind, a couple weeks behind. So episode 10 has already been out for a bit. I've still managed to avoid spoilers on everything. But so let's get caught up with episode 9 of Starfleet Academy.
This is Commander Jet Reno on the USS Athena.
That's really bad.
Mayday. Can someone please respond?
That's really bad ending. Really, really shitty ending writing-wise. Man, it's a problem. There's moments that are so good and a lot that's so bad. It's just ugh. I want to like it because the actors are really great actors. But half the time the writing is just crap. I mean, or at least not the stories that I want in Star Trek. They're not good stories for the characters. They're not enjoyable. Or they're too forced. The emotion is too forced. But the actors are doing a spectacular job with it, with what they're given. Definitely, I cannot fault the actors for doing really well with what they're given. I just don't like what they're mostly given. oh. We got one more episode to do. Episode 10 coming up. So let's go finish this up, finish it off, and hopefully... But I've heard bad things. So hopes are not high for how the series will finish. But we have to finish it. And then I gotta get back onto Stranger Things and get back onto the Arrowverse, DC's Arrowverse episodes, series, and multiple series stuff. Because I plan on doing that, and I have a whole bunch of other stuff. That now that springtime has arrived, I will be doing much more recording, and maybe even some editing. So that's be great. Join me for the next episode. Until then, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't, if this is on YouTube, hit that subscribe and the like. If this is just on the Patreon, if you're actually watching on Patreon, that's glorious and wonderful. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the episode. And yeah, catch you on the flip side. May the chaos of your existence be beneficial. Hello and welcome back to WRD Reacts. Today we are finishing off Starfleet Academy. Episode 10 is what we are getting on to. The last of Starfleet Academy, the last of this show that I had really high hopes for and sorely, severely disappointed me. Most of the time. Sometimes it's been really, really good, and the actors, I think, are really, really good. But the writing, the storylines are really, really crappy and horrible, and not in the slightest what I want in a Star Trek episode, a Star Trek series. And I think that holds true for just about everybody. It really seems that nobody has been thrilled with the way that this show has gone. Just the emotion is just not earned. A lot of it's done really well. The actors portray it really well for the most part. But the characters didn't earn those emotional points like Picard earns the emotions with the mind meld of Sarek, or Cisco earns it with it's real, it exists in here, It's real. Oh, he does. Oh, I hope that isn't spoiling for anybody. I should have given a spoiler warning on that for DS9 spoiler. But I hope people have watched DS9 before coming and watching these, but I know a lot of people haven't. And of course, there's not too many people, nobody's watching these at the moment, but hopefully that will sometime soon change once they can actually start editing these and posting them to YouTube properly. Post the edits, the cut down, copyrighted, free, or what. Anyways, let's get on to the finale of Starfleet Academy and hope that it's okay, but I have heard not great things. It was kind of, and like I said, a decent college show and a decent emotional series, but it's not a good Star Trek. Not okay. That's cute though. Getting photos of the kids, of the actors. That's actually really sweet. Because the actors were really good. I really like the choice in the actors. But yeah, Colbert, young photo of Colbert, man. That didn't look like Robert. Really? That was Robert Picardo? Yeah. But man, ish. That was a the ending there is a really good college show, or like a good college movie line. That's what you do. But oh, it's not Star Trek. Tawny Newsome, and it's just bad, 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 bad. Oh. Oh, okay. Oy, ay, 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 ay. Well, that's why it's got canceled after just the one season. And it definitely deserves to be canceled. Perhaps. No, I can't say it deserves to be erased because the actors did really well for most of the time with what they were given. I really liked the acting. I did not like the storyline. And the academy itself, the set design, just hideous. Too sci-fi, futuristic gleam and shine and stuff. I don't like that. It doesn't do well. Like TNG, DS9, Voyager, that was really good. The sets were real, or realistic, and yeah, I know this is another 700 years or something, but still, we don't need everything to be that shiny and with random bright light at odd locations. I don't know. And what was the point of having this semi-orphan story, family separation story? What does that have to do with Star Trek? With anything that Star Trek has done? Any theme, any method of storytelling, any purpose of Trek? I don't know. Bad. Just they try to make it too much drama and it becomes really, really bad. But the actors did an amazing job. I really, really love what the actors did. Can't fault the actors. But I absolutely fault the writers and the directors. And Tilly is only in one episode. I rewatched 2 seasons of Discovery to get Tilly in only one episode. Horribly disappointing. Tilly should have been in it as much as Tig Notaro was. And Mary Wiseman should have been in as much as Tig Notaro. I love them both in completely different ways. But we needed more Mary Wiseman. More Tilly in this. And yeah, really, really, really disappointed in the whole series. Like so many other people. Hopefully we'll get back to some shows that are better than this, better than Star Trek. That's horrible to say. I hate not liking Star Trek because I love Star Trek, but the way they've been writing it, except for Lower Decks was amazing. Strange New Worlds was mostly good. I liked most of Strange New Worlds, even if some moments were just, again, too forced. And then, of course, there's the musical episode, which, again, was done really spectacularly, and I love it for the actors getting to do that. But really weird. Really, really weird. And yeah, but Discovery and Academy were really bad. It's a really bad storyline to develop. They try to do something cool and unique and different, and it fails because it's too unique and different, and it doesn't hold to the purpose, doesn't fit the poetics of Star Trek. Highly, highly, highly disappointing. It tried. There were moments where you get the what's the word, the metaphors, the analogy to real world events, which is what Star Trek's great for, is that social commentary. But why was this overall? Why was this the social commentary needed? And it being about food. I get it. I get that, yeah, and all this stuff is problematic. But I mean, maybe do it all in a single episode, not the entire series, 10 episode season, having this lame storyline. Let's move on. Yeah. The creators need to rewatch TNG, DS9, and Voyager, and Enterprise, and try to analyze those shows and why they're great, why they were so popular and so well loved, and then figure out why New Trek has been hated. And it's not just because of wokeness. That's not the problem. The woke aspects of New Trek, the in some points excessively, and I count myself very woke, but it doesn't need to be forced as much. And Discovery with Simmons and the doctor and the engineer having a gay relationship, that was beautiful. I loved it. Well, have at it. I have zero problem with that being part of the show. I had zero problem with the kid who's neutral gendered. No, that ain't nothing wrong with that, including that. That's reality. That was never my issue. It was creating extra emotion, unnecessary emotion constantly, and no just casual time with it, like TNG, DS9, and Voyager did. It was all this casual romance, regardless of how it was. With Riker and the androgynous species, or Dax and her former female lover from the previous host, and they hook up again. Yeah, it's all good. That was done really casually, well, relaxed, without excessive drama. You don't need the excessive drama. Not everything has to be want to make you cry or whatever. That's my problem. But again, we got episodes where Picard and Inner Light, where you're moved, or Deanna and Waxana, the Kestra, and that episode, oh my gosh, or in Voyager, Doctor's family, man, this incredible emotion that is really well earned, and it's rare enough that it hits harder. You feel it more when Picard is there, says, that's the life on seas, no one can reach ya, and whatever the line was, and he goes check the arch and reads, and he's just, no words, you see his face drop, you see Deanna recognize that something's gone wrong, and Picard goes to the edge, he takes off his hat, just looks out into the abyss of sea, and then says, no, I'm fine. He goes, he exits and then tells Riker to take command at the moment. And it's really good emotions, and is probably the most forced, pointless, needless emotions of the TNG era. It was losing Renee. Ugh. 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 Time is the fire in which we burn. Oh. Oh. But it's well done. It's and how they did it, even if I hate that they forced it in there. It wasn't necessary. But that's the example of TNG's worst emotional force. The forced emotion that was not necessary. And New Trek is pretty much entirely forced emotion that is not necessary. Oi, oi, oi. I gotta go find something more enjoyable, more uplifting. Because that was quite a downer. The whole series, or half the series. Because again, there were moments that were really, really, really darn good. Paul Giamatti is spectacular. My gosh, nearly every line he delivered was amazing. He delivered it amazingly. He still had to deal with the bad writing at times, but I think he must have had a lot of input, been allowed some improv and adjusting the script just to be able to flow so well, so demonically. And he was a great villain up until this last episode, at least the last quarter of the last episode. Oh man, I gotta go get some water, more water. Oof. So join me for more shows, more stuff. And as we keep going, so like, comment, and subscribe. It's on YouTube. Catch you on the flip side. May the chaos of your existence be beneficial.